Yeah, I think that, where we're at right now, and just to sort of echo where Gomer's at, in the sense of what Mookie took on, sort of just really spontaneous last year. And there were some good things. Right now, as the roster is kind of where it's at right now, continues to give us a lot of flexibility. It's an easy bet to bet on him with the full offseason. And just feeling good right now where we're at. Obviously, there's some things that can change, but all the confidence in Mookie.
Granted, like the one thing within that shortstop last year was the throw-in. How much of that is that just more reps in the offseason, so that footwork-wise you can figure out that shortstop?
Yeah, I think that the footwork was fine. Getting to the baseball, catching it, securing it, good. It's just the adjustment from the outfield, the longer stroke to the infield, the different arm angles, led to some errant throws. And so obviously Mookie's already early in his off-season work, as far as already on the baseball diamond, taking grounders and things like that with this anticipation.
Coming off of the World Series championship, you guys have been one of the most aggressive teams in free agency. What do you like about the way that 2025 is shaping up for you guys?
I like it. I like the way the offseason has played out, certainly. I think, obviously, last year there was a lot of deliberation, waiting, and so I think that players, agents wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. And certainly when with what we've done so far, we've gotten better. I can't discuss too much as far as the detail of the players, but I like the direction we're going, certainly.
How important was it to get somebody like Snell to kind of stabilize the rotation?
I don't know how much I can talk about him because it hasn't been. He's official? Okay, good. Okay, good. I can talk about Snell? Thanks, Jack. Great. Snell's great. Obviously, we've had a lot of familiarity with Blake. Great competitor, swing and miss stuff. I think he's only going to get better. It's also one of those things where you talk about guys like Teo last year, other guys that have signed back with us or signed with us on a one-year term. They want to be here, and so I think that that's something that I don't think you can put dollars to dollars on those desires, but just someone's desire to be in Los Angeles and be a part of what we're doing, it's easier to bet on the upside.
Teo is currently still a free agent. How difficult would it be to replace his production lineup that he's presently in the clubhouse?
It'd be tough. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Teo. We have a great relationship. I thought his words, he loved everything about being a Dodger, and I'm always going to be a Teo fan. And there's not a whole lot of guys that can start, call it 157, 158 ball games and post, and then to be that productive, and then you layer it on playing in a big market, helping us win a championship. So those players don't come around very often. But obviously, Teo's put himself in a very good position as a free agent in his walk here, having a very productive year. So he's got some decisions to make as well. And so he's going to kind of suss those out. But yeah, I mean, it'd be hard for me not to see him coming back.
All the success you had, by necessity, bullpen games is it something you'd rather put in the rearview mirror now and have semblance when you'll start your game?
Yeah. I mean, I think that a bullpen game. There's a couple determinants as far as why you do it, benefits, disadvantages. But I think in a vacuum, you'd love to have a guy or guys that you can run out there 3 times through the lineup. Because to be quite honest, the tough thing about a bullpen game is you have to make more decisions, and the more decisions you make, the more chances there are for you to be wrong in betting on a person that particular night. And so, fortunately, this postseason, for the most part, they worked out.
Hey, David, a year ago, did you have to freelance getting the tempo of what it looked like in that situation as you were going from game to game?
It just made it more challenging. It really did. It's a lot easier to keep eyes on, 2 or 3 pitchers in a night versus 6 or 7 or 8.
A year ago today, you guys signed Ohtani. Did you ever think 1 year later that record would be shattered?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I think it was one of those. Just getting Ohtani seemed like it was going to be just the biggest coup, which it was. I really didn't let my head go to 40-40, let alone 50-50. I thought about winning the World Series, but just kind of what he accomplished on the field. And then I know you're talking about the other thing. What he accomplished on the field, it blows my mind. And then you talk about what just happened yesterday. I certainly didn't see that happening, period. Yeah, very surprised. I think like all of us.
Are they kind of view where you guys were at in Minnesota?
I think that I know we were in there, but I think that obviously, there were some other teams that were even more motivated. But what a great player.
Dan, being one of the last teams standing and having such a quick turnaround opening up camp, how is that different than the offseason plans? A lot of guys into the season have been hurt. Is there any big differences there going into the season?
There are. I think the bigger part is it's a shortened off season, but that's an honor that we got to play, as you said, the last team standing, so that's a good thing. We started out last year in South Korea to then play essentially 9 months to then start back up. To your question, there are some guys, Evan Phillips being one, didn't finish healthy, not exactly sure where he'll be once we start spring training. But if we were to start probably on a regular deal in April, he might be healthy. And he might be healthy in Tokyo. I don't know that. But there are some guys that we certainly don't feel as comfortable ramping up earlier. But you're still playing a couple games in Tokyo that matter.
How much are you going to manage Shohei's pitching performance here coming off the surgery, but also coming off the shoulder?
I don't think the left shoulder, is going to have much of an impact on Shohei's pitching. I think his innings, his right elbow is the biggest factor. And I just think the question is when he starts pitching in major league games and how we build him up prior to. I don't see it as a minor league rehab situation, but I don't know. I think it's a conversation that once we sort of get closer, we'll figure out. But that's going to be, we got to be kind of be nimble with that one.
Just as a veteran in this game, this is great and that whether it's the World Series or the entire postseason for anybody, you just kind of learn from these guys. Now seeing, yes, you did the severity of these injuries, but how can you have the surgeries?
I think it's, I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of players that play a major league season, and at the end of the season they have surgeries. But with our guys, what they went through, what they were going through, I just think it speaks to how special playing in the postseason, and certainly in both those guys' cases, the World Series, how hard it is to get there, and for those guys to play through the severity of injuries that they did is pretty miraculous, or it's really not surprising because they wouldn't have had it any other way. But you look at, Shohei, what he was going through in the World Series, what Freddie was going through for, call it 6 weeks. It took a lot of will and desire. But Black right there.
I got a question.
Hey, buddy, I called you when you were on MLB. You blew me off. I want to talk to Mark DeRosa. That's my mentor right there, Bud Black, Rocky's manager. I wouldn't be here without him. I wouldn't be here without you, Blackie. I don't want you here. I don't want. You're not. I'm not taking questions from you. Take care, Blackie. I expect Shohei to be ready to hit in Japan. I don't think he'd have it any other way. So that's all. That's our expectation. That's right. That's our expectation. But it's not cemented. If there's something that doesn't feel right, doesn't look right, then obviously we got to pivot. And there'd be a lot of disappointed fans. But we're going to do what's best for Shohei. But as I sit here right now, I expect him to play.
As of today, Dave, there's another pitcher from Japan that's available. What do you know about him?
I can't say anything about him. I know I can't say anything about him. I heard he did get posted, but yeah, talent, very talented.
What do you think of like Shohei pitching?
Very unlikely. I just don't see us starting the clock in March to then think that we would keep that continuously going through October. Then that would call for a break, a reprieve in the middle of the season. So I don't know. I still think unlikely.
Obviously he's done it before, but how much more challenging do you think it is just like managing on a day-to-day basis when he gets to do both things full time again, and especially coming back to like the second major surgery? How much do you kind of think about what you guys might have to do differently or just how that process is going to work?
Haven't thought a whole lot about it, Jack, right now, but it's going to be interesting because the continued not necessarily rehab with the left shoulder, but keeping it strong, maintaining it, maintenancing it, within the overall body stuff, and then the pitching regimen, the side sessions, the pitching, to then be a part of the hitters meetings and get ready, get ramped up to take at bats as a DH. So I guess if anyone can manage it, it's Shohei. He doesn't waste much time when he's at the ballpark, but it's certainly going to look a lot different.
What makes the Dodgers a good landing place for players from Japan? What's the pitch?
I think, I think the infrastructure of Japanese speakers on the staff, minor league staff, training staff, front office, baseball operation side of things. We have really that covered. I think our relationship with the country itself, we've built a lot of relationships with Japanese players in the last 30 years. Obviously, you're talking about Los Angeles, which is there's a Little Tokyo. There's a very good Asian specific Japanese community. I think the weather is very conducive to sort of not necessarily Hokkaido in northern Japan, but Tokyo and down south. Closer to on the West Coast, being closer to Japan. So, and again, the fan base. I think that players that come over want to win. I think we're built to win now and for a long time.
Going back to Japan, maybe add more context to what a big Shohei and the Dodger brands have gotten you guys there.
Yes, it was the first time I went back in about 20 years, and there was a lot of Dodger support, and it did give me context. And Shohei did text me and said, "Get ready, because I'm going to see a lot of pictures of him all over," and he was right.
Did you get recognized?
I did more than in Los Angeles, so it's pretty bananas.
Is that a personal trip, Dave, or an MLB sponsorship?
It was a personal businessy type thing, and then also a family personal vacationy kind of thing. Yeah.
What was the coolest part or most unique part of the whole experience?
I think, I mean, honestly, having a conversation with Sadahara O was insane. Being on a beach at a hotel in Okinawa, seeing my family there was pretty amazing. Yeah, I did a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. He is, I want to say he's 90. Yeah, but he's in great shape. Obviously, we were talking hitting, and obviously he's a huge fan of Shohei, and it was just, I told him I always thought he was a figment of my imagination, and I never really believed that Sadahara O existed until I saw him and put eyes on him. Yeah, wow.
So how long were you there? How long was that trip?
I was there for 7 days.
Did you have a test to
I have not.
what extent
No, I texted with them. I texted with them before I left, and then I had a meeting with Kuriyama-san, his old manager, and we had a sit down. And then so I sent him a picture, and I just told him I heard some stories about him, and made a joke, but not true. But I just sent a picture to Shohei of me and his old manager.
But there was a video. You come to the airport, and there were people like hanging above and coming out.
That was at the city council.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was at the city council. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Are you excited to see these stadium innovations?
I am. So, yeah, we're going to have a couple cages. The locker room, the weight room is going to be kind of more current. Logistically will make more sense. It's going to be close, our home opener to when they get everything all buttoned up. So I hear they're working tirelessly, so we'll see. I'm excited, yeah. My office is going to get a little bit bigger, which would be nice.
Just a little bit nicer than it was when you were playing there.
Yeah, I hope so. We're working on that. Maybe they can change the carpet too. We'll see. No, I don't have those type of celebrity pictures. I got some old baseball legend pictures, yeah. What's that? Yeah. No. I took those ones down.
Last one, guys. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, guys.